a new man in power. There was a new governor in town. His name was Festus. Festus, meaning joyful, the Jews who wanted Paul dead expected the new governor to bring them joy by allowing them to fulfill their urge to kill him. These Jews, having not succeeded under Felix because he loved money, Acts 24:26, now placed their hopes in the new governor. They wasted no time to ask him to deliver Paul to them by bringing him to Jerusalem, planning to kill him on the way, Acts 25:2. Festus refused to grant their request and told them to go to Caesarea, where Paul was imprisoned, Acts 25:5. Reading this, one might think that a better man, a better judge than Felix, was finally going to bring about justice, thus forgetting that all men being equal, meaning sinners, placing such high hopes in a man, whoever he may be, is setting oneself up for a huge disappointment, at least for the believer. Sure enough, Festus's refusal to deliver Paul to the Jews was short-lived. After hearing Paul's defense, Festus spoke. It is written, "But Festus, willing to do the Jews a pleasure, answered Paul and said, Wilt thou go up to Jerusalem and there be judged of these things before me?" Acts 25:9. Had Paul agreed, he would have been killed by the Jews. Therefore, urged by the Holy Spirit, he replied, "I stand at Caesar's judgment seat, where I ought to be judged." Verse 10. The Lord reminded me of two things through this passage. First, that there is indeed nothing new under the sun, Ecclesiastes 1:9, and that the arrival of a new man in power will never prove otherwise, because it is written, "There is none that doeth good, no, not one," Romans 3:12. Felix did what was evil in the sight of the Lord by seeking to please the Jews, Acts 24:27. By agreeing to send Paul to Jerusalem, Festus also sought to please the same Jews. The Jews had their evil plan, but the Lord, once again, see Acts 23:12, delivered Paul from their ambush. Second, Paul had no illusions about the new governor because he knew that the fate of God's servants never rested in a man's hands, no matter his title, but in the hands of him who is called Wonderful, Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, Isaiah 9:6, that is, Christ. He is the one, the only one, who can cause refreshing waters to gush out of the desert of any sinner's heart to bless his people. See Isaiah 43:19-20. Otherwise, a man will always be a man. It's also written, "The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water. He turneth it whithersoever he will." Proverbs 21:1. Dear friend, all this shows that your deliverance will never come from yourself, nor from another man, albeit powerful, but from Christ alone. See John 3:16. Remember Paul. Come to Christ.